All right, everybody, check-in time. The Mariners have played another 10 games since our last Mariners video, so it's time to take a look and see what we can see about the Mariners after 20 games. What can we say about the Mariners right now? Well, they are maintaining pace. They won 6 of 10 to start the season, and they've won 6 of 10 during the next stretch of 10 games. So 12 and 8 after 20 games. We're second in the AL West. We had first place for a little bit there, but we took an L yesterday to the Boston Red Sox, and we are in second. But still pretty happy with the way this season has gone so far. These 10 games were a little different from the first 10, despite being the same win-loss count. This stretch of games actually featured a few painful losses. We had the 7-6 loss to Baltimore, a game where we hit a miraculous home run from the most unlikely of players in the top of the ninth to tie the game, and it really just felt like we were going to roll into extras and take the win like we had been doing the whole season so far. And no, we have 2 errors in the bottom of the ninth to blow the game. And that one stung because we were that close to a sweep of Baltimore, a 4-game sweep. And then we also had 2 1-0 losses. And losing 1-0 just sucks, period. We got 2 gems from the mound and couldn't do nothing with it. Offense was just dead, and that's going to kind of segue into one of the major talking points I have. But we had those 2 losses, and even last night, even though we were soundly outplayed by the Red Sox basically the whole game, we did get a clutch 3-run shot from Kyle Seager to awaken from his slump in the 9th inning, and we still couldn't bring it home. When he hit that, I thought, are we really going to do this again? And no, we ran out of gas. So it hurt a little bit, especially because there were multiple plays in this game where we clearly showed we didn't know how to deal with base running coming off the Green Monster. So that may have cost us at least 1 run in this game. So tough losses, and I guess that's probably better than just getting your butt whipped, because in our first stretch of 10 games, I saw us getting soundly beaten most of the time when we lost. It didn't hurt. It was just like, oh, we lost by 5 runs. What are you gonna do? The other team was just much better than us. But these losses were stinging a little bit, so I guess that's an improvement. However, we are still winning a lot of these games very close. We had 3 close wins against the Orioles. We had a close win against the Astros, a close win against the Dodgers, extra innings against the Red Sox. The margins for this team are very thin, and if we take a look at the overall numbers for this team, things are starting to actually flip from the first 10 games, despite the fact that the end result is approximately the same. So if you go down to our team stats, we're starting to get a lot better on the mound. Our ERA has dropped all the way to 3.8, which is close to the top 10 in the major leagues. And it's mostly come as a result of a great bullpen, and I'll shout those guys out in a minute. But as you can see, our pitching stats are good. We're 9th in WHIP and 7th in batting average against. So the pitching, which was what I was concerned about to start the season, is really starting to come together. And the batting, on the other hand, I don't know how we're maintaining this. We are 12th in runs, but we are right near the bottom of the league in batting average. We're barely batting over the Mendoza line as a team. Our on-base percentage is one of the bottom quarter of the league, less than 30%. Slugging percentage is right near the bottom of the league, and somehow we have the 12th most runs in the majors. So I don't know how sustainable this is, but this strikes me as something that is extremely unsustainable. You cannot have one of the worst batting averages in the major leagues and continue to score runs at an above average clip. So if you take a look at the lineup, the position players, we got 2 players who have been, and seem to continue to be raking right now. Mitch Haniger and Ty France. They're killing it. I'm really happy to see Mitch out there playing so well. He's doing it in the field. He's doing it with the bat. He's just having a great season so far. Ops of 934, a batting average of 310. He's hitting for power. He's hitting for average. He's been clutch. He had the 3-run shot to break open the game the other night against the Red Sox. He had a couple other big home runs. He's just killing it right now. And I'm so happy we didn't trade him. I know that obviously we were kind of thinking about trying to blow up the team, but I'm just really happy we didn't trade him. And Ty France. Ty France also raking, hitting almost 300, 886 OPS. His OBP is almost 400, which is incredible. And I did not think Ty France was going to be this good. I knew he was good, but I did not think he was going to be reaching these heights through 20 games. And then, yeah, okay. I'll give Jose Marmolejos his credit. He is somehow managing an ops of 854 despite a batting average of 206, which is insane. Mostly because he's been hitting for pretty good power. He's got 3 home runs. He's got 6 walks. I almost feel like somebody with a calculator at ESPN made a mistake somehow, but it seems to be a fact. And I just realized you guys can't see the numbers because of my big head, so let's do that. All right, so I'll give Marmolejos his credit, but after that, it has started to dry up very quickly. Our next best OPS player is Jake Fraley, who still hasn't come back. And in fairness, I will give this team a little bit of slack here because Fraley was one of their best pitch count workers, and he's missed the last 15 games. So when he gets back, that should help. So I'm going to give the offense a little bit of a pass there. Kyle Seager had a brutal slump over the last 10 games. He kind of started breaking out of it tonight. He had a double and a home run, but his average dipped all the way to 244. Not good. Trammell, I don't know if he has what it takes to stick around in the majors. He's lost on the base paths. He's been picked off like twice, I think. And while I appreciate the power he's shown, and he is starting to get a little bit better at some stuff, it's not good enough at the plate. I don't think we can keep him around for very much longer if we want to keep winning. Luckily, Kyle Lewis is back, and he's a big part of the plan going forward. But then you've got Sam Haggerty, who, his bat is pretty much dead. I'll give you J.P. Crawford. He's starting to at least hit for contact a little bit, but he can only hit singles, it seems like. He's got an absolute banjo bat, and that's not how you win games typically. I will say it's getting better than it was before. Credit where credit is due, but if he's only going to hit singles, then you got to hit for a much better average than 238. And then, of course, Evan White, who is Evan White. We all know what's going on with Evan White. He hits the ball hard, and it goes right to people. And then, well, I'll say this. Dylan Moore is better than this. Dylan Moore is a good player. He's better than a 107 batting average. I believe that. I believe Tom Murphy is better than a 111 batting average. And obviously, Kyle Lewis just got back. He was working himself back into the game. He finally did some stuff last night against the Red Sox. I'm sure he'll be better as the season goes on, and he'll get back to being a 300 batting average player. But this is not sustainable. We are scoring runs despite having a very weak lineup right now. But one thing I can say is that I believe in a lot of these players. I believe that Evan White will eventually start hitting better when he stops getting so damn unlucky. I believe in Dylan Moore. I believe in Tom Murphy. I believe in Luis Torrens, honestly. I think he's better than he's shown so far. So I think that if you call up Klenick in June and you put him into the lineup in the place of, well, it kind of depends who's struggling the most there. Maybe Trammell. Maybe if Fraley stops drawing walks, you can pull him out. We'll see. But if you can get Klenick in there somehow and he starts raking, I think that's enough. Because I feel like at least a couple of these guys are going to get on their horse. Obviously Kyle Lewis, but I think Dylan Moore is better than this, and I think he'll prove it eventually. As for the pitching, if you take a look here, I can say this. This bullpen suddenly became legit. And I would even throw Montero in there, who's been much better since my first video, but Kendall Graveman has been lights out. Anthony Sandwich has been lights out. Will Vest has been a revelation so far. Casey Sadler's been all right. This bullpen got it together like that. And thank God for it, because we are having to win games in the ninth inning. We're having to win games in extras. The bullpen is making all the difference right now. And if this bullpen is for real, and I give them a chance at being real, we could put together some positive stuff going forward for sure. We could definitely see this team continue to win these close games if guys like Kendall Graveman and Anthony Sandwich are for real. The starters, we got some really good starts in the last 10 games. Obviously, the most relieving one was Marco. Marco had an incredible start against the Dodgers, and it went to waste because we couldn't score at all. Um, I think that Sheffield had one good start in the last 10. Dunn had one as well. Not amazing, but good enough to get the win. So those guys are the two guys who I'm really keeping my eye on because they matter the most for the future. So I'm really happy they had positive starts and they're starting to play a little bit better. Um, Unfortunately, at the end of the day, the guys that we were depending on the most in this rotation to be the kind of to settle it down and keep things on an even keel have been the three guys who have been pitching the worst for us: Marjavicius, Kikuchi, and Gonzalez. And again, Gonzalez had a good start a couple nights ago and just ended up taking an L that he did not deserve. But overall, he's still pitching badly. Kikuchi, it just seems like things go off the rails with him at a certain point. He starts out great, everything's looking fine, and then you just, I don't know, he gets unlucky or we keep him in the game too long. Last night I kind of felt like we did. I don't know. But the two guys I'm really watching in this rotation are Dunn and Sheffield. If they can continue to pitch well and start well for us, I'll have a lot of belief that the future can start looking a little brighter because I don't believe in Kikuchi that much anymore. I think he just kind of is what he is, and I don't really believe in Marge Vicious anymore. So hopefully we can call up some guys later this year or maybe next year. But the starters are looking a little bit rough. So things are very delicate for this Mariners team right now. They are playing well. They are coming up with big plays in crucial situations, enough to keep their head above water. But right now, I don't know how sustainable this is because the starters are mediocre overall at best, and the bullpen being excellent will only matter if the offense can continue to put up big plays late in the game. So we'll see where things go over the next 10 games, but things have flipped, guys. Things have flipped. The bullpen is now the best part about this team. We're starting to get better action from the starters, at least some of them, and the bats have just completely gone to hell. So Seager needs to work his way out of this slump, and Kyle Lewis needs to start raking. Those things happen. I think Dylan Moore will take care of himself. I think Evan White will take care of himself, and we're going to have a real MLB lineup. All right, see you guys later. Go Mariners. Another video after another 10 games, but the team, with injuries, has kept their head above water. Credit where credit is due. They kept their head above water with only a few games of Kyle Lewis, with no Jake Fraley. Obviously, Paxton's gone for the season. Means something. All right, see y'all later.